I'm saying that because of the artist that I just spoke to not that long ago that got invited to a party at their house. Everything was cool up front till they went to the back and there was a bunch of old and young boys back there all naked in the Wade house.
Like I said, when me and my wife looked at each other, right? And the reason we looked at each other is because of this, you know, as kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When all my sisters did, I try to do those things.
What was happening at Dwayne Wade's house? Boys and young rappers were being treated to what? But who exactly was involved?
Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed.
Jaguar did a lot of exposing about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, while outing all the unethical activities that occurred or are still occurring in the Wade residence.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
Well, according to Jaguar Wright, when Will and Jada weren't engaging in whatever it was they were doing at their home, they were over at the Wade residence, where the same things, rich older men taking advantage of younger people, particularly those in the entertainment industry, particularly rappers, went down. I'm not making this stuff up. Dwyane Wade's former business partner, Baron Richard Von Houtman, exposed Wade with a document back in the day. He claimed that he was drawn into working with Dwayne because of his superior media persona and the perception that he was the new big thing. Michael Jordan Wade used an apartment to host adult parties with his entourage while he was married, and Richard even went into the details of the apartment, saying it was a 4-bedroom place on the first floor of a high-rise. One day, I got a call from my cleaning crew at the apartment. I went down there. Richard claimed Wade was that good guy father of the year and celebrity who had his head on his shoulders, but he discovered after a year he was nothing like that. He even described the aftermath of one party, saying there were condoms on the floor of the bedrooms, obvious signs of activities on all of the beds, empty champagne and hard liquor bottles, nearly finished blunts, and half-eaten food rotting on tables and furniture. They'd have those parties there 2 or 3 times a week, and there were always dozens of people there, including rappers Dwayne Wade and his entourage. Wade alleged in their divorce proceedings that Dwayne gave her an STD that wasn't disclosed and was discovered outside of their union. The conversation about Dwayne Wade hosting gay parties has been going on for years, and it doesn't help that people have also speculated over the years that he is on the down low that fueled the rumors. Wade was known as one of the most religious Heat players, but apparently he isn't what people around the world think he is. The STD was likely contracted in one of those wild parties that Wade happily hosted, but were these parties like wild gay parties? Boozy, who uploaded a tweet he sent in response to Gabrielle Union on Twitter, is one individual who undoubtedly said that Dwayne is gay. The world is aware of my love for women and your husband's love for D. I hope you don't think black people view you two as a power couple, because they don't. I had previously refused to discuss you two in interviews, and now you're going to go bang him with that D and wait on the script, you little white girl, sheesh. In case you're wondering where Boozy was referring when he said that, he just woke up and was writing about an interview with Gabrielle Union on Live Talks. Gabby responded to Boozy's previous accusations of her transgender stepdaughter Zaya during the event by saying,
You got a lot of on your mind. Sir, something you want to just go ahead and tell us. This is a safe space.
No, for real.
We should be your sanctuary. Perhaps.
And speaking of Zaya, she too received a lot of hate. To give you a little context, Zaya had previously identified as a lesbian before coming out as transgender in 2020.
Early on, she was the one who sat down with us as a family and said, hey, I don't think I'm gay, right? I identify myself as a young lady, but she's known that for 9 years.
Then Dwayne Wade petitioned the Los Angeles County Superior Court to change her name. However, Zaya's mother, who was married to Dwayne from 2002 to 2010, asked the court to reject his petition in an objection that her lawyers filed. In it, she claimed that Wade was pressuring their child to proceed with the name and gender change so that she could take advantage of business opportunities that Zaya had been offered. and that Zaya should hold off until she was older. Wade responded with a second statement that included the following. While none of us are surprised by Seyovin's efforts to contest Zaya's identity and her persistent attempts to tarnish my reputation, I'm very disappointed in how she consistently prioritizes her own needs and wants over those of her children. Right now, anyone who has been around for a while also knows that gay parties hosted at the Wade mansion and others are not anything new at all. In fact, for those who can recall, it came up a lot during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case and Jessica Reed. According to some online users, it was also stated that circle favorites like Amber were tasked with bringing young, mostly queer people to the parties, and based on someone who even gave their personal account. A lot of the time they were given substance this before attending the parties, so they had no idea what to expect. According to her, the relationship between Amber and Elon Musk dates back to 2011 when Elon and his wife were hosting similar parties. Revealed that it was complicated since several persons in those films were also some of the people involved in the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, and a large number of other people were A-list actors, producers, directors, athletes, and other celebrities. The article even went further to describe how blindfolded participants met at a predetermined location and were transported to a remote location where cell phones were confiscated at the door and performers dangled from treetops. Those are just the consequences of possibly exposing their child to wild parties at a very young age. According to users who claim to have known her identity when she was just 3 years old, so they had no idea what was going on. Apparently, the parties are usually fueled by insane amounts of MDMA and mostly feature costumes and satanic themes and weird acts performed on stages in front of the partygoers. Yikes. In fact, a celebrity who attended the parties told Jessica over the phone that everyone knew the girls were there to entertain socially awkward billionaires. And another source also told Jessica that she'd seen videos with what appeared to be the girls performing in front of the partygoers. The post went even further, describing how blindfolded people assembled at a predetermined place and were transported to a secluded site where cell phones were seized at the door and performers dangled from treetops. Noises. It seems like something I've seen in movies, but considering it's all happening in Hollywood, I'm not that surprised. Dwayne Wade was part of that elite circle all along with Will and Jada Smith. They don't call it Holly weird without a reason, because that's hella weird. Dwayne Wade is not about to come clean on anything, but let me know your thoughts about this entire situation in the comment section below.